Hey guys, it's Kells back at it again with another video, another Friday night live. I promised you guys that each and every Friday night I would go live. I would show my face. So here I go for week 12 of our Friday night kickbacks. The reason why all these balloons are here is because why? Can you, any guesses? It's my birthday weekend, guys. So we gotta turn up. We gotta turn up for the doll's birthday. My birthday is actually tomorrow, and you guys know I've been mentioning it for the past month because we are Pisces babies, and so we definitely celebrate Pisces season. So I'm hoping, oh my gosh, I feel like the lights are bright on the balloons tonight. I hope it's not too much, but I appreciate you guys in here waiting for me for our Friday night kickbacks. We have a good topic to talk about tonight. We'll do that reveal in a second, but first, you guys know the deal. You guys know the deal. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me know what you are sipping on. Okay, let me know what you are sipping on. Drop your flag in the comments so I know where you're watching from. And yeah, let's get into the thing. Let's get into the thing. Tonight, in honor of my birthday, in honor of the doll's birthday, which is tomorrow, by the way. Again, you don't see the tea bag. It's not water. Wetting the whistle with a little pomegranate Ciroc. You know, this is 2 weeks in a row that I'm doing this. And you guys know that I did a little bit of a dry. You guys know that I did a little bit of a dry January and a halfway dry February. So yeah, we not dry no more, right? Aries season is up. I am so tired of Aries already. Y'all are extra. Can we get through Pisces season before y'all jumping in the thing, trying to over jump the timeline? Can we just be present in the Pisces season and lavish in the Pisces season for a little bit? Watching from the DMV, I appreciate the love. You know, I spent some time in DC, definitely loved it. So, all right, guys. So, oh, we didn't do our cheers. So, pomegranate Ciroc mixed with a little other spices and things like that to wet the whistle, keep that throat chakra lubricated as we get into it tonight. And yeah, so let me take a sip. Oh, actually, cheers! Clink, 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 clink. Aries in the comments doing the most per the usual, the most, but we're still in Pisces season. So we're gonna keep it cool, calm, and collected so we can get through the fish season, and then we'll get into we'll start the whole thing over again with Aries. But chill, please chill, okay? Cheers. I appreciate you guys joining. I feel like I'm getting calls already, and y'all know I'm on live at 7 p.m. on Friday night. So I'm gonna have it I'm sorry guys, give me a second. I'm seeing like random messages come through on my phone. Okay, yeah, no, my niece is messaging me and I'm supposed to be live tonight. Like, girl, you know I'm live at 7 p.m. on every Friday night. What's the deal? What's the deal? Anyway, so I appreciate you guys being here with me. Let me know in the comments where you guys are watching from. Let me make sure that I can see the feed. That's first and foremost. I want to be able to make sure I'm seeing you guys' comments, what you guys have to say. Because, you know, we learn from the collective wisdom of the It's KELLS community over here. So I got to make sure the collective has a voice. Yes. I'm seeing you guys in the comments. This life, no limits. Talk about Aries seasons. The rest of you guys, I see you in the comments. Oh, you guys might be watching on the big screen. So if you're watching on the big screen, tap the little icon with my face. Make sure to like the video. Smash that like button as we get into it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. So here, okay. So let's get into it. So first things first, second things second, we're gonna look at the options, the topic options that we have for tonight. And then I'm gonna reveal, you know, what you guys wanted to talk about. But obviously from the subject line, we're talking about why adult friendships are hella stressful and what we could possibly do about it, right? And so I'm gonna drop a little knowledge on what I think, but I am definitely gonna need you guys to help me on this one because I am not in a place to give all the information about this because I'm struggling myself, guys. We're struggling, and so we're gonna have to learn from the collective wisdom over here. Let me make sure the camera's looking good. Yes, looking good. Even with all the balloons in the place, we might have to scooch them. It's blocking my light. I don't like that. You know. Anyway, okay. So Felix is still in Russia. Happy birthday. May it be filled with much merriment. Thank you so much. I so appreciate the love. You guys know that. All right, so first things first, let's look at the topics. We'll talk a little bit about how the topics came about, and then we'll look at the percentages and what y'all got, what you guys actually like voted on Instagram and on YouTube here, and then on Facebook I can see, but I can't see percentages on Facebook. So as you guys know, each and every Thursday night I drop 4 topic options for what we're gonna potentially talk about tonight. And then you guys get the last say. So during the week, if you want to drop a potential like topic option to me in my DMs, if you want to slide in a doll's DMs, I'm not opposed to that. Or if you want to message me here on YouTube in the community tab and let me know what you want to talk about in the week, I'll pull them all together and then we'll take the top 4 and the collective will select the top 1 that we will talk about on our Friday night kickbacks, 7 p.m. or thereabouts. I feel like tonight we got at about 7:15, which I think is good. I think is good for everybody, so everybody can grab their little drink, get prepared for the kickback. You know, cheers, clink, 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 wet your whistle a little bit, and then we come in prepared to decompress from the week and from all the code switching that we have to do throughout the week. We can just come back, kick it, reconnect in the comments, and yeah, see what we've been up to for the week and what we're gonna get into for the Friday night kickback. I see Ferd is in the building from South Africa per the usual. I appreciate the love so much. Thank you. I received God's blessings for my birthday. I so appreciate that. You guys are so lovely. Thank you. All right. So I feel like I've come in hot and heavy. I'm going to calm it down a little bit. I'm going to calm it down a little bit as we get into it. And then we'll get into the topic options and how they came about. Yeah? Yes. I had to have a little drink this week like I did last week. Last week I got a little hot from drinking and drinking and talking, having a little sip and talking to you guys at the same time. But this week I'm feeling like good. I'm feeling good. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so okay, so let's go to Instagram. Let's look at the topic options. I'm gonna tell you the percentages there, and then I'll tell you the background on how the topics even came about, and then we'll get into our topic for the night, which is why adult friendships are so stressful and what to do about it. All right. So let's do it. So let's look. Okay. Oh my gosh, my poll. Let's look at the poll. I actually have guests in town this week for my birthday. So if the live gets interrupted or anything like that, just know that the girl the doll has folks in town, but it should be okay. We should be okay because we're in the studio. We're locked away in the studio, and we should be able to have a little bit one-on-one time with me and you as we get into the topic for the night. All right. So the options were, is it me or are adult friendships stressful? And that came in on Instagram at 29% of the vote. And then the second option was, do we all have social anxiety after C19? Y'all know what C19 is. And that came in at 21% of the vote. And then the third option on Instagram was, dating is slow. We want different things, right? And so I was gonna talk a little bit about that because I did get some background on that this week from one of the girls that I watch a lot, and I thought, oh, she had a good perspective. I should bring it to the collective. You guys picked 36% of that on Instagram. And then the fourth option was, streets are open, travel, dating, fitness, life talk as we prepare to get back in these streets, because it looks like the streets is open. And so I was gonna talk about that, but you guys only picked that for 14%. So the number one on Instagram, according to the vote, and let me see if we had a good turnout vote. We had a good turnout on the vote. The number one for Instagram was, dating is slow. We want different things. Okay, so that's the number one on Instagram. Let's hop over to YouTube and see what the number one on YouTube was. All right. Yes, you guys are so quiet in the comments tonight, and I can see you guys watching the live. Do me a favor as we get into what the feedback was on YouTube. Smash, smash, smash that like button. It helps me it's a free and easy way to help me get noticed on this big, wide YouTube world, and you guys know how the algorithm is. You guys know how the algorithm is. I don't have to complain about it no more. So how you can support the channel, free and easy way, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the doll. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And then chime in the comments. We learn from the collective wisdom of the It's KELLS community over here. So it's not just me running off. I'm definitely going to look to you guys for your feedback, for your commentary, for your perspective. And yeah, so we can marinate in the wisdom of the community. Yeah. Okay, so on YouTube, let's look at the poll on YouTube. Now, this is in the communities tab on YouTube. So in the communities tab on YouTube, by far, the number one was, is it me or adult friendships stressful? That with 63, a whopping 63% of the vote. 63% of the vote. Y'all was trying to figure out what's the deal with adult friendships and why they so stressful. 63% of y'all. And we had a good turnout on votes, right? Topic number 2 option, do we have social anxiety getting back outside after C19? 0%. Y'all didn't want to talk about that at all. It was a 0. And then with 25% of the vote, is the dating is slow. We want different things than in the past. I have a little bit more space on the communities tab on YouTube to explain what the topic is about a little bit more than I do on Instagram. So I wanted to explain that it was talking about how dating is different now than it has been in the past. And not only came in with 25% of the vote on YouTube, which is a little bit, that's a little bit interesting because you guys know that I started this channel as a dating in London channel. And so typically any topics that have to do with dating, that's what you guys select on YouTube. But this time that only got 25% of the vote, not even 50%. And then the 4th option on YouTube, streets are back open. What are we getting into? Dating, travel, fitness, same topics as Instagram. And that only came in with 13% of the vote. 13% of the vote. So clearly on YouTube, y'all want to talk about, is it me or adult friendships stressful? Okay. And so while on Instagram, that came in as 29% of the vote, which is the second one, because it was such a huge landslide on YouTube, I went ahead and made that the topic for the night, because with 63% of the vote, that's undeniable. That's undeniable, guys. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can figure this thing out, drop a few gems if we can, and definitely relying on you guys to let me know your thoughts as well. Let me know your thoughts as well. You know the deal. Come on in. Smash that like button. Drop your flag or where you're watching from in the comments. Engagement, guys, engagement. And then let me know what you are sipping on. Tonight, the doll is sipping on, again, pomegranate Ciroc with a little tea. Child, I don't know. That was in the fridge. I don't really have juice in the fridge like that, so I threw some tea on it. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like my lipstick might be coming off, but okay, so let's get into it. So I do have notes for this one, guys, because I didn't want to come into it too like nothing to say. So I thought about it a little bit and I was like, okay, what are the issues with adult friendships? What are the issues with adult friendships? Oh, and if you're just coming in, it's the doll's birthday this weekend. My birthday's actually tomorrow. So that's why we have the balloons here. But we might move them because they might start annoying me. But we might move them because they might start annoying me. But it's my birthday this weekend. So we have guests in town. And we have a little bit of celebration with you guys. Even though it's my birthday, I definitely had to come on and celebrate with you guys. Because, you know, commitment, consistency, week 12 for the Friday night kickbacks. Yes. All right. So let's get into the topic. We're already 14 minutes into the live. And so let's get into the topics. Okay, let me know if these balloons are bothering. No, I think the balloons should be okay. I think the balloons, do you guys see my fur? Keeps me warm in the winter. Okay, so here are my things. This is when I was thinking about like this topic and I was like, okay, adult friendships. What's the deal with adult friendships and why do they seem to be so stressful and, like, quiet as is kept, annoying? And 3 or 4 things came to mind. The first thing is investment, the investment required. The second thing is the obligation to it. And the third thing was growth. Okay. And so I'm going to talk about each of these things separately, but you guys, of course, chime in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're feeling about the thing and what your experience has been with like cultivating and keeping and maintaining adult friendships. Okay. So let's start the thing. So, okay. This is a hard topic to talk about, right? Because you don't want to be insensitive about the thing, you know what I mean? And you do want to maintain your friendships. But, we just got to be a little bit candid about this. And I feel like the biggest thing for me and why adult friendships seem to be stressful is first the investment and the reciprocity a little bit that is involved with it, right? And so what I mean is this. When you're younger and you're all in the same stage of life, and maybe like you're all in high school together, or you're all in middle school together, or you're all in college together, something like that, or you all work at the same place, it's really easy to have a bunch of things in common. It's really easy to be at the same place at the same time. It's really easy to have something to discuss and talk about. You're all pretty much at the same level in your life, right? And so the commonalities are so evident, right? It's very easy to find something common to something. You're on the same playing field. You have something to talk about. You have the same place to be. There's so many common elements together. But as you progress in life, like as we do, and you kind of diverge past, maybe you don't work in the same place anymore. Maybe one of you is single and living that single, hot girl summer life. And the other one of you is married. And then the third one of you has children or things like that. Like those things are huge life differences that cause you to not be on the same playing field. Like you're not in the same place. You're not in the same mindset and things like that. And I'm going to speak from the single person's perspective and why I feel like investment is a huge issue for me when it comes to adult relationships. So picture this. Whenever you have a friend and they're, progressing in life, yeah, so they are getting engaged, they are getting married, they are having a baby, they are buying a house. What does that look like? And let's talk about female relationships, right? Because men don't do as much as women do. Like women have a tendency to do the absolute most. So what does that mean when one person is like a single person in their life and they're in these streets living their best life, dating, having a ball, but the other friend is progressing or moving more into that like stable tier in life? That means, what does that look like? That means, okay, we have to do an engagement party for you. It has to be, there's money around that. There's gifts given around that. We have to plan that. We have to do an engagement party for you. We have to be in your wedding party. So we have to be a bridesmaid. We have to go to your bachelorette party. So that means we have to host it and we have to fly to Puerto Rico or Bahamas or Dominican Republic or wherever we're having that. We're going to have to fly that. We're going to have to pay for outfits. We're going to have to pay for gifts. We're going to have to pay for hair, nails, makeup for your wedding, depending on how the wedding is. You bought a house. We got to get housewarming gifts. You got a baby, we got to throw you a baby shower. Oh, your baby turning 1, we got to pay for that baby, those gifts for those babies. We have to remember all the babies' birthdays and things like that. Look, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, if you're on the same page and there's reciprocity, both of y'all are doing that for each other, that's cool. But if you are this single one and you have to invest a lot of time, consideration, thoughtfulness, money into the other relationship and you're not getting that back because you're not in that stage in life, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's stressful. It's expensive. It's borderline annoying. And it's not annoying at the beginning, but after a while you're like, damn, another party, another thing I gotta invest in. Meanwhile, your friend in that stage of life, they don't think nothing about you. They don't care nothing about you. They don't, maybe your birthday they'll send you something, but they're not looking at like, yo, it's a lot of one-way investment. You know what I mean? And yes, happy for you progressing in life and doing your thing and getting married, buying a house, having a baby, all of these things. But when you're not in that stage, it's a one-way street. You know what I mean? So you have to be very, very cognizant of that when you're looking at your one friend that's a single, maybe not doing as much as you are. So I feel like that's really, you have have to be really, really cognizant of that. And that's a stressor to the single person. Now, on the other hand, the single person, the grass is always greener. The grass is always greener. So of course, this person going up in life, they have more responsibilities. Now they got a man or they got a woman in their life. They got children, they got house, they got big bills, them big mortgage bills and things like that. And of course you're celebrating them, but they're, now it's looking like you are just sidelined. You know what I mean? So not only do you have to invest because you're friends and you're an adult and you're supportive, but now you're sidelined, and you not only have you invested all of this, but you're second tier to all of those other things in their life. It's stressful. It's stressful for the doll. And so what I would say is like, just be cognizant of how the reciprocity, you know what I mean, in the relationship, in the adult friendships go. Are you investing as much in the relationship as your friend is? And it doesn't even have to be like gifts and money and things. It could be time. It could be consideration. It could be thoughtfulness. It could be calling and say, hey, you bought a new car. How did it go? You know what I mean? Like, can I wash it for you? Can I get it detailed for you? Like, it doesn't have to be everything like having to do with baby and husband and house and all of these kind of typical things. You can celebrate your friend that's not in that stage by doing something for them or investing in a relationship for something for them that you can celebrate in their life, without thinking that, well, they're not married, so what do you want me to do? Well, they're not engaged, so I don't even think that, all these parties that I'm having, maybe I could give back to them at some stage. Maybe they don't want to be married. Maybe they'll never be married. You know what I mean? So it always is a one-way street. But the thoughtfulness of like, yo, you know what? They just bought a brand new car. Let me get that car detailed. That girl did my baby shower. That girl did my bachelorette party. That girl did my bridal shower. She did my engagement party. She did my everything. You know what? Let me get her car detailed. Come on. Be thoughtful in the relationships. Reciprocity, investment. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's one of the things that I'm like, dang, this is, Lord, it's not selfish, is it? You know what I mean? It's not selfish, but it's like at a certain point, it becomes heavy. And so the ask there would be like, if you're an adult friendship, make sure that it's not a one-way street and that you feel like, yeah, I'm investing as well and I'm being invested into as well. There is reciprocity in the relationship. I think that's a huge stressor. I had one of my best friends, she asked me, hey, she knew I bought a house, the studio, she knew I bought a house. And she asked me, she said, hey, did anybody offer to host your housewarming party? And I said, girl, no. And she said, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, that was so thoughtful of you. Like, thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like everything, everybody else is just like, whatever. Well, you didn't get married or you didn't get engaged or you don't have a baby, so there's nothing for us to celebrate for you. But one friend, my really, really, really best friend, was like, yo, you bought a house. Let me throw your housewarming party. And I was like, thank you, love. I really appreciate that thoughtfulness and you identifying something for me to celebrate that's outside of the box. That's not necessarily the 1, 2, 3 ABC celebrations that we're so used to obliging our adult friends to. You know what I mean? And so I really, that was one part that opened my eyes to it. Is like, oh, out of all my friends, this is the one who was like, I see you. I'm celebrating you. I'm happy for you. It don't have to be baby shower or bridal shower, engagement party. It can be you got a new car. Let me detail it. It could be you bought a new house. Let me host your housewarming. You know what I mean? Or let me send you a housewarming gift. You know what I mean? Or let me help you with your registry or something like that. And so, I would say that's a big thing for me in adult relationships, and why I find them stressful is just the reciprocity and the investment on both sides, and what it takes to be, thoughtful in these types of adult relationships. You know what I mean? So that's my number one. That's my number one with adult relationships so far. Take a quick sip. I see you guys chiming in the comments. I appreciate the engagement. We're going to get into the comments in a hot minute. I see so many of you guys in here. I appreciate it. Smash that like button. Free and supportive way. Free and easy way to support the doll, to support the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. So that was my first issue, is the reciprocity, the investment. necessary and that you have to be aware of when you are in these adult relationships and you're really trying to make them mutually beneficial, especially as you move from being in the same stage in life to being in differing stages in life. It's so important to celebrate your friends as much as they celebrate you, even though their milestones in life may be different than the typical. Yeah, that's my first thing. Yeah. So the second thing that I feel like happens in adult relationships, and let me take a sip, that we need to be a little bit cognizant of is growth, and how you might be growing slower or faster than a friend that you used to be on the same page, on the same playing field. And just by nature of you being in different places on the journey, right? So we're all growing, we're all moving towards something in life. But some of us move slower, some of us diverge, some of us decide to do something different and things like that. But for me, I feel like growth is a huge issue. Yeah. And what I mean by growth is, for me, what growth means to me is like the ability to inspire and the ability to do what you say you're going to do, and be cheerleaders and encouragers for your adult friends. And so sometimes you'll find that you'll have a friend and you'll be trucking along and doing this, moving on a similar path and going at the same pace. And then all of a sudden, maybe one moves away or something happens. And now you feel like every time you re-engage with that friend, they're still at the same mindset that they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And while in some instances that's okay, but sometimes it can like really be hard to have anything in common anymore. And for me, especially when I don't feel inspired by what you're doing, or if I don't feel encouraged by what you're doing, and not necessarily you encouraging me, but me observing you going after your dreams, or going hard after something, or building the family that you said you always wanted to build, or going after the career that you said you always wanted, or just accomplishing what you want. That is inspiring. To witness your friend going after and actually attaining what they said they did, that's encouraging. You know what I mean? And so that's growth, right? That's what you want people that can inspire you that way, or people who can cheerlead for you. So I feel like when friends might get stagnant, and I feel like everybody goes through this at certain parts in their life. There's certain times something happens, there's a death, you know what I mean? There's a job loss, there's a divorce, there is a child, and people do kind of like slow down on their path and going after things. But if you find that it's consistently like, dang, you still trying to go to Cafe Iguanas on University and Pines, and you're 35 years old, and we used to do that when we were 17, 18, like those types of things, that kind of stagnating really makes it difficult to maintain the adult relationships. And it's like, how do you tell somebody that I've kind of outgrown you? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Without it coming across as like, oh, you changed. You're bougie. You're stuck up. Oh, you think you better. Oh, you know what then? Oh, don't forget where you came from. You ain't nobody. What you think cause you did XYZ that you this and that? No, I just grew. I just kept growing. I just outgrew that. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't do things anymore. You know what I mean? I have too much to lose now, or it no longer interests me, or it's played out. I've been done did that. I didn't. I burnt the. I rode that till the wheels fell off. Now I'm on to bigger and better. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. But I feel like that mismatch and that misalignment with the growth that you sometimes have in adult friendships can be a little bit off-putting and like hard to navigate. That's one that I really feel like I need y'all feedback on. Is like, these mutually beneficial relationships, as Apartment Life View is saying, mutually beneficial relationships being the goal. You know what I mean? And to me, a mutually beneficial relationship is not just one with like monetary investment. It's one with time, and it's also one with who you're inspired by. You know what I mean? And that you can find them to be a cheerleader in your life. However, whether you're just inspired by watching them, or if they actually call you and big you up and support your thing, watch your lives, repost your content, buy your product without a discount, recommend you in rooms that your name maybe not ordinarily would have been in. You know, those types of things as an adult relationship is what is meaningful, and what to me displays that growth and that reciprocity and that investment. Yeah, excuse me. You know what I mean? And so it's like, those are the things when you're young and you're in your friendships, it's like, oh, just come with me to this party, just come with me out, let's just go drinking, let's turn up, let's put on a freakum dress and go out. You know what I mean? Like, just show up. You know what I mean? Come to my birthday dinner, that's it. You know, when you're younger, those are all the investments that are needed. But when you get into adult things, when you get into adult situations, when you get into adult money, you're looking for somebody who's really gonna ride for you, who's really grown in their appreciation of you and of the relationship, keen on building mutually beneficial relationships, putting your names in rooms that ordinarily wouldn't have been there, pulling you in on deals that you would not have ordinarily been a part of, helping to broker deals on your behalf, supporting your businesses, supporting your career, bigging you up, sharing your content online. You know what I mean? Like, really being present and supporting the thing. Those are the things to me that are what real friendships are about, you know, as you get into like grown people shit, you know, adults, you know what I mean? And not just, oh, come to my birthday party and my sleepover. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's more than that, especially when we get into, you know, get into the thick of the thick, you know, adult things. You know what I mean? So I feel like that growth is the second thing that's really an issue for me, and that misalignment that could exist as adult relationships. And it's a little bit of a stressor, because then it's hard for you to spend time with them, because you feel like a little bit like, dang, is my time being wasted? Like, this person really don't ride for me like that. And not only do they not ride for me, you know, they're not really achieving the goals that they said they wanted in their life. So they really not riding for themselves like that. And the truth of the matter, and I will say this, the truth of the matter is that sometimes people don't even know how to ride for you, because they don't ride for themselves like that. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it's not even personal. A lot of times it's not personal, because you're sitting there thinking like, dang, these people don't support me, or, you know, how y'all not supporting me? And the truth of the matter is that they don't even negotiate or ride for themselves, much less you. So half the time you can't take it personally, and that's something that I have to coach myself through. But yeah, it is something that I notice in adult relationships. I might move these balloons, guys. Can we make them go a little bit higher? All right, let me turn. Now they annoying me. Anyway, so that's the number 2. I see you guys chiming in the comments. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause right there before I get into my third and fourth thing about why adult relationships are so stressful and what we could do about them, what we need to do about them. And so let me jump in the comments. Let me see what you guys are talking about real quick. We're about 32 minutes into the thing, into the live. I appreciate you guys being here. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Free and easy way to support the channel. All right, I'm getting birthday loves in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much. This Life No Limit says, this is true. This is exactly what happened to me. And now she only wants to hang out with couples, which is fine. So this person must have gotten married. And so now she can cut out the relationship because she's in a different path. And instead of investing in a relationship where This Life No Limit is, she decided to dissolve the relationship. And to be honest with you, to be true, you know, This Life No Limits, it might be something else as well. Because she might feel like maybe you're single and maybe, you know, she don't want you around her husband. She don't want you around her man. You know what I mean? And we talked about that in one of the previous lives. And one of the previous lives, we talked about how sometimes women don't even want women around their men like that. Because, you know, not a trust issue, but, you know, auntie them told them, don't do that. Do not let, you know, don't let other women around your man. So maybe it's that, you know, This Life No Limit. Let me see what else says here. Ferdy says, adult friendships is not stressful. Just choose the right friends and respect each other's time and views in life. I have friends of all ages and races. Absolutely. I feel you on that, Ferd. And then Apartment Life View says, so true. I purposely didn't call a friend the month of her kid's birthday because I didn't want her to suggest a gift. I can get her child, I could get her child like she did last year. That child is not my friend. LOL. Apartment life view. It's the over investing for me. It's the over investing for me. Helene, what's up? What is up? Thank you for catching my birthday live. We're talking about why adult friendships are so stressful and what we could do about it. Apartment life view said that child is not my friend, and how dare her suggest you get her child a gift? You know what I mean? Is she getting your children gifts? Do you even have children? Like, that's something that you do out of the kindness of your heart, not should be suggested by a friend, unless there's a lot of mutual investment. Even if you don't have children, you have to be cognizant of that. And I'm not suggesting a tit for tat, you know, kind of thing. It's not that you only give when you get, or you only get to give. No, but after a while, it becomes abundantly evident that, this is a kind of one-sided thing. You have way too many things that you have me obligated to do. And because I'm not in the same stage of life as you just gonna pretend like you can't find nothing to obligate yourself to me for. You can't find nothing to obligate yourself to me for, but you can find a whole bunch of things for me to be obligated to you. You know what I mean? And you have to be aware of that if you're either on either side of the coin. You know what I mean? What else are y'all saying in the comments? Let's see. Especially living in a new city. Okay, so making friends. I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit, like making adult friends and what that looks like and how we could do that. I love celebrating people and special events. Absolutely, me too. I love celebrating people, having parties and throwing cocktail parties, throwing bachelorette and baby showers and things like that. But at a certain point, it becomes like, okay, I don't think I could be another bridesmaid. I don't think I could be throw another bachelorette. Like, I can't throw another baby shower. I've done my community service. I'm done. It's not looking like we having a baby shower over here anytime soon. So, I've done all that I can do. And, it's like only one friend that's like, oh, what can I do for you? You know what I mean? Like, housewarming, let's do that. You know what I mean? And so that thoughtfulness on both sides for the friendships would be greatly appreciated. And it's not only one way. I'm sure there's other things. Like, for instance, as a single person, when you're living that single life, you could hop up and pretty much do whatever you want to do, given that your finances are straight. So you might want to, so for instance, I'll tell you this thing. So I am having a birthday dinner tomorrow, and I just did not feel like putting out invitations like that. I just wanted to hand select who was going to be there and call it a day. Now, because I didn't really feel like doing that, and because my schedule is so at my own beck and call, I didn't really put out the information about the birthday dinner until like today, and the birthday dinner's tomorrow. Now, that is very inconsiderate. I gotta read myself on that. It's inconsiderate because people with children and dogs and cats and jobs and all of that, and maybe they have to care for their parentals and things like that, their aging parents or anything like that. They have a lot of coordinating to even get out for dinner. So they have to find nanny, they have to find babysitter, they have to pump breast milk, they have to, whole heap of things, whole lot of things that they need to do to be able to prepare to just pop out. But like me, I just feel like I'm going to dinner tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go to Africa on Sunday. Y'all want to come? You know what I mean? So it's very inconsiderate of a friend like me to just bust with plans that I know nobody can do and then be mad that they can't do it. You know what I mean? So I'm talking about adult friendships on both sides of the coin, and things that can be annoying and stressful on both sides of the coin. It's not just, the friends that are in the traditional lifestyle who are like asking you to be obligated to all of these things in their life and to celebrate all these milestones in their lives. It can also be the one who has the flexibility, being a little inconsiderate and, a little bit self-centered when it comes to, making plans or inviting or trying to obligate them to you. So I get that. I could read myself on that. You know what I mean? So, it's a both way street when it comes to the stressors in adult relationships. Yeah. Come on in. Let me know where you guys are watching from and what you are sipping on. And yeah, we'll get into the rest of the comments, and we'll get back into my thoughts on stressful ass adult relationships and what we could do about it. Yeah? Let's do it. Okay. So what else y'all saying in the comments? Apartment light view again. Oh wait, hold on. I love celebrating people in special events. Likewise, Laura Levros is saying, as a single person, I'm starting to think about this more and more lately. Right, Laura? It's like, dang, how many bridal showers I need to throw? Like, okay, guys, like that's enough. How about y'all throw me a, promotion at work party? How about that? Has any of y'all married people ever threw your single friend a congrats on a promotion at work, here goes some gifts, party, party or something like that? Oh, you bought a house, here's your housewarming. Oh, you bought a car, let me get it detailed. Like, come on, reciprocity. Single people be tired. We be tired of doing all that for y'all. So, but as I said, the inconsiderate kind of thing is like definitely what we have to consider. But just be thoughtful in whatever stage you are in your adult relationships, and try to, if you're really interested in being friends and staying friends, then make sure you're thoughtful in what they're doing in their stage of life and celebrate them just as much as they're celebrating you. And then your single friends, be thoughtful. Get the people time to find a nanny and a babysitter. Get the people time to get their schedule together, get some rest, get the outfit together. Everything they do takes way longer than a single person's life. So, we could be a little bit more considerate. I will say that. Okay. And so Apartment Life, you were saying mutually beneficial relationships are the goal. My friend benefited from our friendship more than I did. It's not, and as I said before, it's not always tit for tat. But after a while, you notice. It's like every time I'm around them, they're miserable. Every time I'm around them, I'm bringing the energy, they're bringing the drama. Every time I'm around them, I have to pay. Every time I'm around them, I have to come up with a party or host something for them, and they are not nan one time think about what's going on in my life and how they could support. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you guys a real serious situation. As you get older in life, right? People have a tendency to die around you. And, you guys know recently my father died. And it was one of the most, I don't think we talk about death, especially death of parents, enough as adults. Everybody just like kind of deals with it, or you see it in a movie and you see people like showing a huge amount of emotion, or you see people showing no emotion. But the realities of it and having to deal with it is massive, especially when you're one of the first ones of your friends group to have to deal with that. The first one in your friends group, they'll be the first one to have the baby. Absolutely. They'll be the first one to have a C-section. Absolutely. They'll be the first one to get a divorce. Hopefully not, but that might be. They'll be the first one to, have some issue happen. But that first also of like the first one to have a parent die, I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna hold you. But the way that feels is nobody warns you for that. And on top of that, they can't really, nobody can say anything. There's nothing anyone could say to warn you about that. But the support. A lot of times you'll have these friendships and they'll be a little bit shallow. You know what I mean? So it's like, come to my birthday party, come out to here, come out to there. And maybe they've been over the long term. But you feel like when those real situations happen, especially as you get into adulthood, when them divorces happen, when them miscarriages happen, when them parents die, and you really need a friend to ride for you, who can sit there with you as you bawl your eyes out, or as you sit there in silence, numb, that's when you need to people them. That's when you need your friends. You know what I mean? Not to throw baby shower and to throw engagement party and to come to birthday dinner. It's when the real shit happen. You know what I mean? And I feel like people are quick to ask you to invest in the more shallower things. But when it comes time to invest in them serious things as an adult, it's hard to find people who can ride for you. It's hard to find people who you ride for you. And because I've crossed that threshold, one of those thresholds in my life, now I'm very particular about my adult relationships. And it's very difficult for me to have shallow relationships. It was hard for me to have shallow relationships before, but it's even harder to have shallow relationships now, because now I know the pain that you need your friends to be able to hold you up through. the pain that you need your friends to be able to hold you up through. And if they can't show up, if they only want you to show up for them for baby shower, and they can only show up for baby shower, but they can't hold you up when that ink on that divorce paper have to sign, and you're buckling at your knees. You know what I mean? When your parents is in hospice, and you have to see your knight in shining armor parent dwindle down. That's the serious thing about adult friendships. You know what I mean? And that's why if you don't see the reciprocity when it's baby shower and birthday party, what kind of reciprocity are you gonna see when it's divorce and death? That's the real stressor when it comes to, quiet as it's kept, that's the real stressor when it comes to adult relationships. You know what I mean? So you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep that in mind. I had a same best friend who asked me to, oh, you bought a house, anybody asked you to do your housewarming? Same one, the only one who was there at my father's funeral, held me up, literally, took me to the beach, let me sit and watch the waves and cry on the beach with her. That's a friend. That's why when all these other little tiny things, really, you start to think like, oh, you know what? You're a friend. You're the one willing to invest in. You're the one who is willing to, even if we're not on the same page, to keep trying to grow together, to keep checking in on each other, to keep shouting each other out, keep sharing each other's, businesses and things like that. That's a friend. You know what I mean? And so those types of things I've noticed, and I realized like, oh, you know what? I can't invest where I don't feel like there's going to be a reciprocal investment, because this thing is too serious. This is not slumber parties. This is not slumber parties and birthday dinners. You know what I mean? That too. Okay, that too. Yes. Let's run an Airbnb and do some content and take some pictures. That too. You know what I mean? But it's also the serious things that I'm talking about. Lene's in here in Michigan drinking some Smirnoff Ice Pink Lemonade. Cheers! Clink, 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 clink. I'm over here drinking some pomegranate Ciroc, some tea, and some other stuff I mixed in it, and it tastes good, sis. Thanks for joining. Child, I went live earlier this week. Side note, I went live this week with Florette, International Baddies Link Up with Florette from London. And why I almost choked to death on the live. Did y'all see that? Your girl took a sip of some champagne and almost choked. Almost choked to death on the live. And you know what it was? She wanted to talk about Kim K and Kanye. And you guys know, you guys never vote for Kim K and Kanye for our topics. And she wanted to talk about that. And so we talked about them a little bit. And in the middle of talking about them, I choked. That's funny. That's what I get for talking. I wasn't talking bad, but that's what I get for talking about them when I know you guys don't want to talk about them on the channel. Total side note. But if you didn't catch that live, be sure to click back in our playlist and look at our International Baddies Link Up with my girl Florette from London. You guys always love when I do collab videos with her. So we were able to do one this week. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, but it's definitely on a channel. And then also I put a video up about 8 ways you can move overseas or move to another country, and put a little bit more information and color. So check back in the videos and see if you want to check that one out. Okay, I'm gonna leave the balloons alone because I know y'all gonna start complaining that I got too much shit going on. Okay, so let's jump back in the comments real quick and see what you guys are talking about. All right, so Dede, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Dede says, people tend to be wrapped up in family if not single. That's fine. Single people have families too. Everybody has a family to some extent, to some extent. So yeah, you can be wrapped up in family, but the mutually beneficial investment should still be there on both sides. And understanding as well, and grace and understanding as well, depending on where you are in that stage in life, you know what I mean? But it definitely has to be reciprocal, I would say, regardless of family standing. Okay. Okay, so Pamela says, I'm child-free and single. She has a husband and her child has grandparents. LOL. So again, both sides. You have to be thoughtful as well. Apartment life, you know, she got stuff going on, you know, children it's a lot. You know what I mean? But, you know, you definitely have to feel like there's, you know, a little bit of fairness, a little bit, you know. But anyway, um, Apartment Life Suite says, yes, I support a promotion party. Exactly. Like, you have to, you know, think outside the box when it comes to your friends that are not in the same life stage as you. Certain things are celebrated just like by the book. Very status quo. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. But, you know, if your friend is not doing that status quo life, think about other things that you could celebrate with them. Did they open their LLC? Did they get business credit? Did they get a promotion at work? Did they buy a new car? Like, what did they do? Celebrate them just the way that you get celebrated for your more status quo kind of things. You know what I mean? And I don't want, you know, here's the deal. I am not interested in this being a lecture on how to be a good friend. That's not what we're grown. We're definitely grown. But I'm just pointing some things out because it looked like sometimes people won't see it, you know what I mean, unless it's pointed out by a third party. So we just pointing some things out. We just pointing out some things on both sides, and you know, we're gonna make it do what it do. All right, so what else you guys saying? Dead is in DC. What's good? What's good? And drinking green tea. Normally I would be drinking green tea good too, girl, but tonight a little bit something more warming warming to wet the whistle, right? All right, so Lene is in Michigan drinking that Smirnoff Ice Pink Lemonade. And then probably a lot of you are saying, those are the friends you want for life. Nothing wrong with having acquaintances for simple things, but real friends are priceless. Agreed. 100%. 100%. Drinking hibiscus tea. Apartment life, it looks like she's drinking hibiscus tea. And then Lene is telling me, clink, 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 cheers. Cheers. So that's what we have in the comments so far. I appreciate you guys with the engagement and getting into the topic of like, what's the deal with adult relationships, why they so stressful, and what we can do about it and how we could rethink the thing. Yeah. Another Friday night kickback with your girl with the doll is KELLS. Week 12, consistency is the name of the game. We've been live every single Friday night for the last 11 weeks. This is week 12. Next week will be week 13. And yeah, I appreciate you guys riding with me and showing up 7 p.m. or thereabouts. Tonight we was on like about 7:15. Gave you guys 15 minutes to get a little something to sip on and to get myself prepared to come on live and to talk about the topic for tonight. So let me get back into my notes so I can make sure I talk about everything I said I was going to talk about. So we said investment, obligation, reciprocity, and growth are the big three. And we talk about, you know, losing that connection because you're not like growing at the same pace and you're not really inspiring one another. And you know what? Quiet as is kept. Isn't that very similar to like intimate relationships? It's funny how friendship relationships can really mirror what we're looking for in intimate relationships. That's somebody that can inspire you to grow. That is not, and here's where we get into the next topic, that you're not competing with. Why everything gotta be a competition? Why everything gotta be a competition? Why are you competing where you can't compare? I'm joking. Like, why everything gotta be a competition? You know what I mean? And so even in intimate relationships, even in friendship relationships, it doesn't have to be a competition. It can be supportive and it can be heart-centered and kind. And I would say that kind of those situations where you're feeling like, dang, why everything I do, it's hard for them to be happy for me. It's hard for them to be happy for me. Why does my success, or not even success, just why me doing what I said I wanted to do is an indictment on who they are? Why they feel bad about themselves when I feel good about myself? Or the other way around. You know what I mean? Why when I have something good to say, when I got a good story to tell, when something great happened to me, I don't really want to call that friend. I don't really want to call that friend because they a secret hater. They're a secret hater, and I don't feel comfortable calling them to tell them the success that I'm seeing, or the happiness that I'm experiencing, or the weight loss that I'm experiencing, or the muscle gain that I'm experiencing, because I don't feel like they're going to be genuinely happy for me. And I'm not gonna feel better having come off the phone with them. You ever experienced that? Like, why does everything have to be a secret competition? A not so secret competition. You know what I mean? And so those types of things in adult relationships. And here's the thing, we're all human, right? We're all, well, some of y'all are aliens, quiet as is kept. Some of us are star seeds, quiet as is kept. Anunnaki, all of that. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, drop a twinkle emoji in the comments if you know what I'm talking about there. But yeah, we're all humans to some extent, and so of course you're gonna get jealous sometimes. You're gonna feel a little twinge of like, damn, I wish, dang, they got another man, like, dang, she got another nigga, like, dang, he got another business, he got another Lambo, damn, you know, like, when I'm gonna get mine, you know, like, you're always gonna feel a little bit twinge. But hopefully you're able to rein that in and see that as inspiration from your friend. And they're not behaving in a way that's like rubbing it in your face. Maybe they're just sharing their success. Excuse me. Maybe they're just sharing their success. Oh, I see twinkles in the comments. I appreciate you. You know, so maybe they're just sharing their success, but of course you might feel a little bit of a jealousy or a little bit of a comparison. Grace for that. That's fine. But when it's always that situation to the point where you don't even feel like bringing it to that friend, what is that? Stressful adult relationships, unnecessary tings. And here's the deal, that's something that you can experience in younger relationships as well. You know what I mean? Quite as it's kept. So, but as an adult, it's even, to me, I find it even more stressful to deal with because, you know, as you get on into your adulthood, you're pressing towards your dreams and your accomplishments and things like that. And so to have somebody around who you say is your friend, just saw 555 on the clock. Actually it was 5555 if that's your number. If you have those types of friends that you can't really bring your joy to, you can't really bring your bliss to, because you know they find it hard to be happy for you, or they find it hard to be happy for your success, that's a problem. And then the deal with me is like, how do you have that conversation with somebody? How do you tell somebody that I don't really feel like you're really that happy for me? Like, do you tell somebody that, or do you just cut them off? Y'all let me know in the comments. What do you do? What do you do when you're like, dang, I don't really think that this friendship is really working out like that? Do you bring it to them? Do you let them know? Do you like formally break up with them? Do you say, hey, you know what? I don't know if we're still on the same page. Like, what do you say? What do you do? Or do you just let it dwindle? Do you stop calling? Do you stop engaging? Like, what do you do? Do you handle it more like an adult and say, hey, we need to talk. Here's what I'm experiencing. I want to let you know what I'm experiencing from this side of the relationship or this side of the friendship. You know, what's going on, or let me know, or what do you think? Do you do it that way, or do you kind of just let it go silent? Like, what do y'all do? Let me know. Give me some advice on that. I would so appreciate that. This life, no limits. Come on, tell me what to do. Apartment life view. Well, what's the deal? Ferd, let me know what's going on. Okay, so that's one thing. The whole like comparison and the jealousy thing, you know, needs to be reined in, and you know what I mean, like whatever needs to happen there. This life no limit says stop engaging. So so you ghost your friend, just the silent treatment. You do them like a Tinder date and you just ghost stay behind. You just stop. What do you mean by stop engaging? Let me know, like, what does that look like? Stop responding to texts, stop calling them to come out. Like, what does that look like? And how do you do it? Can we do it? Do we do it in a mature way, or is it too much investment to do all of that? And it's just like, they'll get the hint. You let me know. All right. All right. So I would say, yeah, I would say those are my things and the stressors as it relates to adult relationships, and you know what that looks like in the real world. Yeah. I think I see you guys chiming in the comments. I appreciate that so much. Let's look at the comments. I think I want to talk a little bit about making new friends and what that looks like, stepping outside of your comfort zone, investing in new relationships and new friendships, finding new friends, keeping new friends. as an adult? What does that look like? Let's look at that, but let me jump in the comments and see what you guys have to say about how do you address a dwindling friendship? How do you address a dwindling friendship? Do you just stop engaging? Do you bring it up and say, "Hey, this is the deal"? Or what? What do you do to address a potentially dwindling adult relationship, or one that is no longer serving you in the way that it should? All right, let's see. So stop engaging, and then apartment life view. So this life no limit says stop engaging. Apartment life view says I let it dwindle. If they are going out of their way to turn your success into a negative, talking to them is a waste. So I would not necessarily say they would go out of their way to turn your success into a negative. They just don't find it easy to be happy for people. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. I also feel like a lot of people are not very helpful. And to me, that's so dangerous, because if you are not helpful in your life, if you don't, and I'll tell you some examples, but if you find that you are not aware or thoughtful enough to be helpful to other people, you are essentially stifling your own life and your own growth, because you can't find the time to be helpful to other people. You know what I mean? Or you are just not happy for other people when good things happen for them. And I said this about when I talked about how to move in silence. And a lot of times I said, stop telling people everything, because they don't even know they're negative. People don't even know that they're never happy for other people. People don't even know that they're not helpful. I'll have people, you'll ask people like, hey, XYZ, or somebody will ask you something. When somebody asks me for something, can you put my resume into that company? Can you review my resume? Can you review this essay that I want to do for this? Can you read this article that I want to post on LinkedIn? Can you, hey, you have a few minutes, I want to pick your brain about consulting or entrepreneurship or, social media or something like that. Yes, 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 yes. Can't do it this week, next week. Can't do it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yes, put it on my calendar. I got 15 minutes for you. Yes, 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 yes. Other people, oh, can I talk to you about that? Yeah, you can. I'm busy today, but like 2 more days from now. But then they never do. They never do it. You know what I mean? It's all just like, dang, like, oh, some of y'all are not helpful. Okay. Some of y'all really don't want to see help somebody be successful, because it's okay when you feel like you're on the same page as you or they're below you. But if you feel like you're going to help them, they're going to outshine you. So you decide not to help them. Oh, I see how that go. You know what I mean? You might not even know that you're doing that, but your behaviors speak louder. Your actions speak louder than your words. So just be mindful if you really riding for people, especially people that you call your friends or your associates, or if you just all talk and really not trying to like do too much with people. And that's okay, but just be honest with yourself and with others is what I would say. Just be aware. Just be self-aware. Like, I don't really like helping people. That's fine, but don't pretend like you do, or don't be like not aware that you're not helpful. Don't be aware, don't be like oblivious to your unhelpfulness. You know what I mean? Don't be oblivious to you not really riding for people like that. That is okay. You are who you are. Whatever path you're on right now is what you're on. But the self-awareness, I feel like, is really, really necessary, because it'd be like, you're not helpful, right? You're not happy for people, right? So, and people don't be knowing that. So, and I will say that the one thing I find dangerous about that is, like, when you're like that with people, it's very difficult to see success in your own life. And that's just something that I've noticed. Like, it's very difficult for you to be happy, for you to be successful, for you to be in ease and flow and things going well, for you to be able to follow your bliss, for you to be able to be in good relationships and good communication with people, if you are not open enough to be giving of yourself in a certain way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's an open valve, right? It's like a give and take kind of flow in all types of relationships. You know what I mean? In all types of kind of balanced, give and take type of being helpful to give and also being open to receiving relationships. So anyway, that's one thing that I feel like, just be aware of who you are, and like, just know that it's almost a one-to-one relationship with you seeing success in your life and you being happy and you being able to be an open valve to help somebody else create the same in their life. You know what I mean? Because it's all this kind of relational, is this relational kind of system that we live in, and, whether you're aware of it or not, basically. All right. This life says, especially since I'm not being more engaged in the friendship, I stopped reaching out. Okay, so we're talking about like, what do you do when you feel like these adult relationships are a little bit dwindling? How do you address it? Do you address it or do you just leave it alone, kind of thing? So she says, just basically leave it alone, let it dwindle. Okay, so she said, or they say, I do want to make new friends now that I'm older and my interests have changed. Okay, so we're gonna get into like some ways I noticed how people make friends. That might be helpful for us, right? And don't expect help if you can't help people. Bless others and it will come back to you. I agree with that. I think people, like to pretend that they're helpful, but like true, genuinely helpfulness. I remember one time I was coming back from London and I needed a job. And the jobs that I had gotten in London were just not gonna cut it. So I said, let me come back to the US. And I literally went on my LinkedIn and I picked up the phone and I called a gentleman friend of mine. I had only met him one time at a diversity conference, like an MBA diversity conference. And I met him one time, but we were connected on LinkedIn and I knew that he had seen some of my movements because, people like certain things on, if you put content or post pictures, you can see people following you or seeing, where you are in life. And I needed a job and I was like, okay, I've been out of work for 5 months now. I was going hard in London. I didn't like those opportunities. I need to come back home and I need a job ASAP. Looked on my LinkedIn, saw that he was working at a company he had a connection to a company where I wanted to work at. So I picked up the phone and called him. Hey, KELLS, good to hear from you. How's it going? Yeah, I see you. Da, 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 da. How can I help? Immediately. I always remembered that and I always try to embody that same energy because we had only met in real life one time and then we were friends on social and I picked up the phone to call him to ask him a favor to connect me and I didn't even get to have to explain anything. He picked up the phone, was like, yo, how's it going? How's it doing? How can I help? How can I help? I was like, dang, I was so impressed by him. And I was like, dang, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I want to be that person that when somebody calls me, even if it's out of the blue, I immediately ask them, how can I help? How can I be a support to you? How can I ride for you? How can I be in your corner? How can I be a champion for you? If you're calling me, if you're reaching out to me, I know that there's something that you need help with. I'm not even gonna pretend. We don't have to pretend. We don't have to do formalities. How can I help you? If I pick up the phone, what's up? How can I help? I love that. That was so helpful. He ended up helping me get a job. He's the one who got me to DC, like really, really rode for me. And literally his first words out of his mouth after, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I see you're back from London. How can I help? And he was able to help. I was so impressed by that. So I love that about friends. And so I always took that with me. So I share that with you guys just in case you want to put that in your little back pocket. Use it if somebody pops up and asks you, calls you out of the blue. Just know that they're asking for help. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's enough with the comments. So meeting new friends. So I recently met a friend here in Atlanta, and what I realized that she was really good at was not only was she good at what made the friendship work, and we're good friends now, and I think what made the friendship work, and I'm taking from her because I really like how she did this, and I'm open to meeting new friends as well. So I want to embody and, I'm inspired by her, as I talked about at the top of the broadcast. Like, I'm really inspired by her behavior. And what she did was we met at a brunch for like a nonprofit. And of course we kicked it off at the table because it's kind of easy to maybe talk to folks, where you're in the same vicinity. We're at a brunch, we're sitting at a table of like 8 or 10 people. We're sitting there, we're watching the same speakers and things like that. We talked. And we exchanged contacts, which is very easy to do here in Atlanta. People always ask you either for your Instagram or they ask you for your LinkedIn or something like that. A lot of people ask for Instagrams. But so we exchanged contacts, but what she did that I really was inspired by, and what I realized was really helpful in making adult relationships, was that she followed up genuinely. And she didn't follow up just one time. She followed up a couple times and invited me places. Hey, you want to go to the building and we want to do this? Or hey, you want to go to lunch? Or oh, hey, we should do drinks. Or hey, and it wasn't like a lot of times, and it was very like organic things. So it wasn't like anything pressed or doing too much. But she followed up a couple times, and then on my end, because I was open to the friendship and I liked her, I was like, let's meet at the building, or yeah, let's do this, or yeah, let's do that. And we ended up becoming really good. Let's go to dinner. And we ended up becoming really good friends. But the thing is that what I think was the differentiator was that she followed up. And I was like, oh, I need to do that. I need to be a little bit more intentional about when I meet people, because it's like kind of easy to meet people. In DC, I did not find it easy to meet people like that and exchange contacts. But here in Atlanta, it's easy to meet people and exchange contact. But I think the thing I can do better that I really want to take from her in building these adult relationships and these adult friendships was that follow up and actually a couple times, and have something to invite the person to. You know what I mean? And that was really helpful. And I was like, dang, I really like that. So, going forward, when I meet cool people and things like that, I text them back, I follow up. And sometimes they don't text you back and things like that, and that's fine. But sometimes they do, and I feel like those are the best relationships, where you hit it off in person and then you actually do continue to engage and invite each other out to things, and then actually meet up. And I think that's how you kind of start the adult relationships. And then you end up finding people that are more on the same frequency or wavelength or same place in life as you, because maybe they're out, on a Wednesday night like you are, you know what I mean? Or they're out for happy hour or something like that, or you meet them in a work event, or you meet them at, an art show or something like that. And, as an adult, they have the same, aspirations or the same interests as you. And so that reaching out a couple times, having something else to invite them to, and then, reciprocating, when they invite you out or when you invite them out, like keeping the conversation going has been the biggest like differentiator when it comes to making adult relationships, I noticed here in Atlanta. And I have a really, really good friend just from her ability to follow up and things like that. And now it's open, and, I invite her to things and she comes and she invites me to things and I go. And, but if she didn't do that first reaching out, I don't know if we would have been as good of friends as we are now. And that's one thing that I'm like very happy that she did. And then I see her as like a little bit of a friendship mentor for me in that way, that I'm going to try to be like her a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, I think we've covered the topic. I see you guys chiming in the comments. You guys know that each and every Friday night, 7 p.m. or thereabouts, we go live for our Friday night kickbacks with your girl. It's Kells, the doll. I appreciate you guys so much for joining. If you would smash that like button if you haven't already. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Help me break through the algorithm as I get back into this YouTube thing. I see the doll Anna in the building, the bestie extraordinaire in the building, always showing up for the girl, for the doll. Cheers. I appreciate you. Clink, 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 clink. We're in here celebrating a little bit of a birthday. We're in here celebrating a birthday. You guys know the birthday is tomorrow. And so we're in here for the live, getting into adult friendships and figuring out how we can make this thing less stressful than it actually is. All right, so let's take a spin through the comments, and then we're gonna call it a quits for tonight. We did the doggone thing. We're about an hour and 10 minutes in. So let's take another spin through the comments, and then I think that's gonna be it for us tonight for week 12. For week 12 of the Friday night kickbacks. A big birthday, surviving and thriving. Yes, sis, definitely. All right, so what are we saying in the comments? Okay, so this life no limits, that same strategy is the reason why I met 3 good friends here in DMV. Yeah, did you do the one that was the following up, or did they follow up with you? I feel like I had to learn that from my friend here in Atlanta, and I was like, ooh, that her follow-up game is tight. Like, I need to do that and learn how to like cultivate adult relationships that way. I really like that. And I'm so glad she did, because now we're good friends, and I'm like, oh my God, I could have missed a good friendship not following up properly. And so I'm gonna follow her lead on that. Yeah. And then Anna in the building, giving love. Love you so much, dearie. So much. Thank you for the birthday love. I appreciate you guys so much. Yes. And okay, so this life no limit said, yes, I followed up. Yeah, I gotta learn that from y'all. I'm learning it. I'm definitely gonna do that now. I went out to dinner the other night to check out the venue for my birthday dinner, and I ended up sitting at the bar and meeting this couple and then some other girls, and exchange contacts, because as I said, in Atlanta, people love the exchange contacts here. And followed up via text, and then got an invite to a steak dinner in the next couple of weeks or whatever, to continue the conversation and hang out and things like that. So I'm super excited about like really knowing how to follow up with folks and like cultivating these new relationships that are a little bit more equally yoked, as if we're talking about intimate relationships, but a little bit more equally yoked as an adult. You know what I mean? And maybe more local, as you have it. Yeah. Apartment Life View, thank you so much for the love. I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating, loving, living, traveling, eating, foodie world. If this is your first time here, I would love to have you subscribe. And if you are an oldie but a goodie, good looking out, replay gang, we appreciate you so much. I respond to each and every comment. So even though you didn't catch us live, be sure to comment, chime in, let us know what you're thinking as it relates to stressful adult relationships and how we make it work, what we do about it. Leave your comments, because we love to learn it from the collective wisdom of the It's KELLS community here. And I respond to each and every one, and we need to learn from what you got to say, replay gang. I know some of y'all are asleep by now. It's already really late in the internationals. You know what I mean? And some of you guys on the West Coast, you still just having dinner and just getting home from work, as you would have it. So yeah, catch us on the replay as they do, and leave us comments, smash that like button, and be sure to subscribe. Guys, we have 12. This is week 12. We have 11 kickbacks with some gems dropped in a playlist. So be sure to watch the playlist and catch up on our kickbacks as we go into week 13. Next week, again, we will drop our options on Thursday nights. You let me know what we want to talk about on Thursday night, and on Friday night, we talk about it. We get into the things. We get into the talking and things. We let it do what it do. You know what I mean? So appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the birthday love. I think that's it that we had to talk about today as it relates to adult friendships. Any final comments as we close out? I'll take a sip. I'll stop talking for a few minutes. We'll take a sip. Remind you guys to watch the other videos and watch the ones that come up on the end screen now. And replay gang. And let me know if we have any final closing thoughts as we close out week 12, heading into week 13 of our Friday night kickbacks. All right. All right. So we are going to close out the show, guys. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Thank you so much. No more comments. Replay gang, chime in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about. Love the top, sis. Thank you, honey. Thank you. We had a little shoulder, a little clavicle. We showing a little clavicle tonight, a little shoulder. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for riding with the doll, with the girl. And yeah, that's another Friday night kickback. Bye, guys.